Trail Max, a channel dedicated to thrifty, realistic overland travel using vehicles to support mobile camping and exploration of beautiful and interesting places. On this episode, we explore Cape Lookout National Seashore. We took the ferry over from Davis, North Carolina. This is the Cape Lookout and Cabins ferry that we normally use. It cost about $220 to get over there, but that's for the entire duration of the trip. It's a beautiful cruise across the bay. This time we went to Cape Lookout, the wind was blowing from a different direction. We have a northern wind, so all of the seaweed was blowing into the point where we normally spend all our time. So if you notice on this trip, I'm not catching any good fish because every time you cast a line out, you don't get anything but seaweed. Here's all the other truck campers that they park on the island for storage. So we finally got on the island and we're making our way down to the point. We're only going about 15 miles an hour. Mile after mile, you're just greeted with this beautiful scenery the entire way down, and there's barely anyone out there. So anywhere you set up, you have the beach to yourself, but we're going to the point. And I know that there's always people down at the point. This is the point of Cape Lookout. This is where I like to fish, but this trip can't fish, unfortunately. You got water on both sides. This entire area, all of this water came out of this little bay the following evening. Here it looked like somebody was walking across a little tiny sliver of sand. This is one of the most fascinating places to catch a beautiful sunset. Not every night. You can't see the sunset every single night, but when you do, it is spectacular. And as you see here, the sun glow was so bright, it just lit up my camper in orange. Here's my beautiful wife who took a lot of these pictures. The yellow-orange glow is so powerful. Just look at how much it lit up my camper. Something new on this trip, we got a propane fire pit.
What do you think of the new fire pit, Mallory?
The next day we had beautiful sun. This was my birthday, so we set up and we were going to surf, have us a good time. The waves were a little bit too gentle to do anything with a surfboard. Well, I'm not really learning, my wife is. And here I am cooking dinner. I made wings on the grill that were delicious. And you can see my setup of this tarp that I got off of Amazon. Worked very well this trip. Old Bay wings. These are delicious. Here's our chairs from Cabela's, and the awning is just a tarp off of Amazon. I think it's like $30 or $40. And here we are filling up water down by the lighthouse. As you can see, there's nobody around. So if you want true seclusion, come out here. This was an interesting feature of the point where all the water had drained out, as I showed you in the previous video. And here is the seaweed. This is the thing that stopped me from fishing this entire trip. I didn't get a single meal from fish this trip, unfortunately. It was everywhere. Every line you cast out, you have like a 5-pound ball full of seaweed. Here's another beautiful sunset. For my birthday, we're just hanging out around our propane fire pit, and then 4 sea turtles walked up on us, which was unbelievable. We went and put them in the ocean immediately. The next morning, Mallory made biscuits and gravy and sausage. We've never had that before out at Cape Lookout, and it was delicious. Very easy to make. So the next morning, this is August 17th, we went to a sea turtle excavation by the National Park Service. And I believe there was only about 9 live berths that were still in the nest. But she pulled them all out and carried them to the ocean and released them. But here she is showing them to us. This was a free event, which was awesome. And she counted all of the unsuccessful ones and then some of them that had made it before us. Here she is putting out the sea turtles, and they're making their way to the ocean. And they were so adorable, so cute. Some of them did not want to go to the ocean, but we eventually made them where they all went to the ocean. For some reason, this bird decided to come hang out with us all afternoon, and I'm talking like 6 or 8 hours. Just kept walking up into our camp, getting right up to us, and then even in the evening, he or she went and hung out right near a campfire as if she was just hanging out with us. Unfortunately, it is time to head home, so we got back on the ferry early in the morning, and we are headed back home. So one of the biggest challenges of us going to Cape Lookout is ice, because there is no ice available at the bottom of the point. As you can see here, I had ice last about 5 days. So here we are. I'm having to clean up everything, and it was a mess. The step on the back here collapsed when I was cleaning, and I fell down, and I almost really hurt myself, so I have to replace all of this step. And I also wanted to show you the rust on this brand new fire pit. So I've got the camper back in the shop finally. It took me an entire day of cleaning the inside, the outside. I got up on the roof, the sides. I scrubbed everything as best I could to try to get rid of the saltwater corrosion that just infiltrates everything. I did have a little bit of an accident. The back steps collapsed on me because of the saltwater intrusion. It got into the screws that were holding on. It's just something that I rigged up. That might be half the problem, but the screws had corroded so much that it just released when I stepped on it. The step went like this, and I fell straight down, and I thought that I had like seriously messed up my back somehow, but I'm okay. Nothing bad happened with that. But that just shows you how important it is to clean this and my truck, which I clean my truck thoroughly every time that I come back from Cape Lookout, because you do have to drive through some salt water sometimes. So if you have any suggestions on what type of steps that I should replace the back of this with, I would appreciate it to leave it in the comments, because this garbage has got to go. It's unsafe. So this is the first time on the channel of me showing you my truck camper. This truck camper started its life as a 1974 Coachman. I got it off of Craigslist for $1,400. And over the years, you know, things broke. I fixed it, but finally in 2018, 2019, it just got to the point where I had to park it in the shop, and I stripped it down and totally remodeled this thing from the ground up. Everything above your head is all brand new, and I would say probably 75% of the materials used in the structure and everything are all new. Anytime that there was an error or something wrong with a face of a wood, like this one here, I took it out, took it apart, took it out, traced it out, made a new template, and then painted it, put it back in. And I used as much leftover and used building materials that I had from other projects. This is from a floor that I put in. All of the lights that you see come from a Walmart remodel that I did. I work for a greeting card company, and anytime I see interesting parts that are going to be thrown away, I'll reuse them and salvage them. The lights, they lit up the greeting card department on all the end caps. I took them apart and put this little switch on there, which was awesome. And the LED light right here come out of the targets that we would demolish. This is about 10 years ago. So I probably got about 1,000 of these lights. I'll never run out. I've never had one go out on me. But I just have done so many little tweaks to this camper. It's crazy. I wanted to show you a few little things on this camper that really make it interesting. So I just climbed up on the roof, and I wanted to show you this water tank that I got off of Craigslist years ago. And I strapped it up on the roof, and between this and the tank that's in the camper, I think I've got about 60 to 70 gallons of water, which is plenty for me and my wife to do anything that we need to do. About 3 days. Then we have to go fill back up. Here's another new roof vent. As I said, every single thing up on the roof is brand new, including this solar panel. That's a 100-watt Rhenology solar panel that does a really good job of topping off our battery. This is the rubber roof that I put on. I replaced every single thing on the roof. New vents, everything. You know, it's not perfect, but it does a really good job of keeping the water out, and it's pretty durable, and it's really good to walk on, even when it's wet. Well, that'll about be it for this episode of Trail Max. I'm Corey, and I just wanted to thank you so much for watching along with us. We will be on some more adventures between the Jeep and the truck camper coming up soon because the weather's starting to cool off, and I'm ready to go. So maybe I'll see you on the trail. See ya.